All right, man, peace. So as many of you brothers who follow the NBA know by now, LeBron James, the superstar forward of the LA Lakers, finds himself, as well as his team, finding themselves in a very precarious situation heading into this up-and-coming offseason. Will they be able to acquire a couple of major free agents to assist LeBron James who actually want to play with him? Will they be able to pull the trigger on a major trade to acquire Anthony Davis to assist LeBron James? Either way, the retired former superstar shooting guard Kobe Bryant finds himself in a very powerful position because now he's able to judge how well LeBron James is able to play in the latter stages of his career, and Kobe Bryant's stock is growing based on the comparison between how well he fared in LA to how well LeBron James is faring in LA in a far more advantageous position health-wise. So they recently asked Kobe Bryant what his advice would be for the Lakers. Of course, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Laker, more beloved than Kobe being Bryant, bleeds purple and gold. And getting LeBron and not making the playoffs wasn't part of the master plan in LA, but in an interview for ESPN's Get Up, the Mamba offers his advice for the Lake Show. Listen up.
If you were to give advice to Magic Johnson, for example, what would it be?
Me give advice to Magic?
Yes.
He's laughing because, number one, Kobe knows that there's not much that he could tell Magic, especially since, number one, Magic has a higher basketball IQ than him. Number two, Magic is in a very bad spot right now. Kobe does not envy Magic Johnson's position because Magic Johnson is going to be the next fall guy. He will be the fall guy before LeBron James. Although, do not be surprised if Magic Johnson gets frustrated to the point where he approaches Jeannie Buss and actually broaches the subject that maybe we should consider trading LeBron James and not all these young players to get Anthony Davis. Who knows? If I'm Magic, that's what I'm thinking right now. Can we trade LeBron James?
I think it's just a matter of being patient, right?
What that really means is that, I don't envy them. Because right now, LeBron is 34 years old, so how patient can you possibly be? And Kobe Bryant saying it's just a matter of being patient? That's how you know he's full of shit, because Kobe's the least patient person. He's probably the least patient great athlete or great player in the history of the NBA. He made Michael look patient. And we all know that Michael wasn't patient at all. Kobe's far from patient, so for him to say it's all about being patient when your best player is 34 years old, that's Kobe's way of saying they're caught between a rock and a hard place.
Obviously, don't make smart decisions. You have opportunities, things, pieces that you can trade, assets and things of that sort. Or you can stay with the young guys who are extremely talented and have great upside and let them develop.
What upside do the young players have, Kobe Bryant? Especially when they're on the clock to win a championship for LeBron James. We know that that's not going to happen. They're very desperate. If you're a Laker fan right now, you really got to be pissed off because there's nothing worse than a high-profile franchise that's desperate. Like the Yankees were desperate back in the late 80s. And the best thing that happened to them was when Steinbrenner got suspended, because that gave them the time that they needed for many of the main components who would be a major portion of their championship teams to develop in the minor leagues. Right now, the Lakers, they want to make a huge splash. They want to win now. So they're not going to give their young players time to develop because LeBron James is on the clock. And if LeBron is sitting back and he feels like the Lakers are not doing enough, he might even request a trade. Who the hell knows?
Got it. Either direction you go should be a good direction.
And how about
Stop lying, Kobe.
If he were to ask you for some advice as a guy who has been the face of the Lakers yourself for such a long time, what would you advise him?
No, you just got to keep pushing, right?
In other words, I don't have any advice for that dude. He got to figure it out on his own. I'm not getting involved. I did my time. I won 5 championships. LeBron has 3. He's going to have to find a way to win at least 1, or he's going to fall behind me in the hierarchy of all-time great players.
Seasons like...
And many people feel like he's already behind Kobe. I'm not one of them, but many people feel that way.
This would make the championships worth it. You know what I mean? You just got to stay with it. It'll be fine.
Oh, stop. Knock it off, Kobe. Off camera, you like that nigga's done.
Oh, Stephen A. How does Kobe really feel about the Lakers? Now?
I just explained it. Kobe don't give a shit. He could care less about what's going on with LeBron. His job is to act as a very mannerly host. When LeBron came to LA, Kobe was very prudent. He knew that the media and the fans were going to try to play up the Kobe versus LeBron comparison. And he said to himself, I'm going to make sure that I'm not involved in any controversy, any accusations of being a hater. I'm going to welcome him with open arms, and I'm going to allow him to fall on his face.
He just told us how he really feels.
Well, he's disappointed. They've underachieved, and I think that he knows that. He's going to do everything to be protective of Rob Pelinka because he believes in that man, and he trusts Rob Pelinka, and that's his guy. Make no mistake about it. He also believes that Anthony Davis is worth any player that the Lakers were willing to give away.
Obviously. I mean, there were reports that the Lakers tried to play games with the Pelicans when it comes to who they were offering for Anthony Davis. They should have opened up by offering the entire team, other than LeBron and those bum-ass veterans.
Everybody knows that. But the flip side to all of this is, you know what? I think he's holding LeBron accountable. I think he's looking at LeBron James and he's saying, okay, the heat is rising. Excuse me, this ain't Cleveland, where it's 30 minutes away from where you grew up, and we gonna love you no matter what. This ain't Miami, which had fallen off the map a little bit until you know, collided with, or not collided, but joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and went to 4 straight NBA finals and won 2 NBA championships. Nah, bro, this is Laker Nation. Excuse me, we are about championships with this franchise, and you don't get to get a pass. I think that's what Kobe is saying. I think Kobe is reminding the world that is a level that he would have been held to and held accountable for, and there is nobody that puts on the purple and gold that should be absolved from having those obligations placed on their shoulders. That's not what he said, but I'm telling you, that's how he feels. It's one of those situations where he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer. We all know this. But every single mega star outside of Elgin Baylor, who retired early in the 1972 season that the Lakers won a championship, outside of that name, every mega star that has ever won the purple and gold, has delivered a chip. LeBron can't be somebody that's not committed to that. I think he is.
No, LeBron is committed to trying to win a championship, but I think that he also understands that there are other reasons, there are ulterior motives that he has that trump winning a championship. If it happens, it happens. He's going to put forth 100% effort, but it's not something that's going to make or break him in his mind.
But here's the difference between Kobe and LeBron that nobody has brought up, Jalen. Nobody has brought up, Max. LeBron doesn't say it himself. LeBron puts in the work. We know he takes care of himself. We know he's an elite athlete. We get all of that. He doesn't do it himself. But members of his camp are quick to say, there's nothing to prove. Won 3 chips already. He's already a champion.
Because, Stephen A. Smith, they're trying to tell you that basketball was not the main reason why he came to L.A. That's why. You could put all the pressure on LeBron James that you want. He's a politician. That's why he's been trying to use wokeism to claim that he surpassed Michael Jordan. That's all he's about. He's just about a lot of bells and whistles, maintaining the facade of being someone who considers himself the greatest of all time, because deep down, he does not even believe that. LeBron James deep down does not truly believe that he's the greatest player of all time. That's why he keeps trying to sell it.
League MVP, universally recognized as the greatest in the game when he's healthy. I mean, please, he ain't got nothing to prove. He's already done it. Hell no. Not with Kobe, not in Kobe's eyes, not in Shaq's eyes, not in Kareem's eyes, not in anybody who has ever worn.
Well, Kareem is a major LeBron James fan because they're both woke.
Purple and gold. They don't subscribe to that thinking. When you put on that uniform, it's about trying to capture championships. And they don't want to hear what you did in the past for somebody else as being qualified to suffice for what you lack in effort.
Yo, it'll be funny as hell if the Lakers don't get anybody in free agency in the offseason and they can't make that trade. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be so hilarious next season.
They don't want to hear that point. And I'm telling you, that's how they feel.
To that point, Lakers fans don't want to hear it. Lakers fans don't care what you did before you got to LA. Win for the Lakers, period.
That's Kobe
and
too.
Once you live for the Lakers, you win for the Lakers, they take care of you forever, those fans. Forever. That's the real reason Kobe is in the minds of some deluded fans in the GOAT debate with Jordan.
Thank you, sir, for saying that. Because Kobe Bryant's fans are definitely deluded. I deal with those nut jobs on a daily basis on my channel. He has the worst fan base of any single NBA superstar or star player other than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's fans are the worst. Kobe Bryant's fans are coming up on the rear. At least Kobe has won some championships. Iverson never won anything, but his fan base, they're out of control. But the Kobe Bryant fanboys, they're the worst. Oh my goodness. They're the worst of any championship level superstar.
Because he's not quite Jordan. Got close, but not quite, and that's an easy direct comparison. But he did it for the Lakers, so he has legions of fans all around the world who will say he is. Wilt Chamberlain, 2 chips in his whole career. He put up those great numbers, but no, he's really the best who ever played. But boy,
that was a highlight of Kobe's performance in those 2004 finals. Nobody talks about it, but his performance in those finals was near the LeBron James 2011 performance. I mean, he was terrible in those finals. I would say that LeBron James' performance against San Antonio in 2014 when they got blitzkrieged by the Spurs, that was slightly above Kobe's performance in 2004 against the Pistons. You know what, matter of fact, I shouldn't say that. LeBron was discernibly better in 2014 against the Spurs than Kobe was against the Pistons in 2004. Kobe was terrible in that series. And by his own admission, he cost them that series. That's according to him. I don't think that they would have won even if he would have played better. Because that 2004 Pistons team, that's one of the great all-around teams in the history of the NBA, or at least the modern history of the NBA. Their defense was impeccable.
Lakers fans will tell you, yes, Shaq, Kareem, now, these aren't the greatest players of all time, but when you win for the Lakers, boy, it is just different. Those fans will swear by you. Let me get to Kobe. How does he really feel about the Lakers? It's really about LeBron. How does he really feel about LeBron? We're going to get to this a little later in the show about the GOAT debate, but
there is no GOAT debate.
I think right now Kobe's feeling vindicated in this sense. Dude, when you're...
Not yet. Right now Kobe's still... Remember, he calls himself the Mamba. The serpent, especially the more toxic the serpent, the more patient they are. The black mamba is known for waiting for its prey in the upper branches of trees for hours. Right now, Kobe's waiting. He's not going to talk shit this season. He'll probably wait until season 3. If the Lakers are still back with LeBron in season 3, you might see him start to make more pointed comments about LeBron James.
Old and the guys around you aren't ready to win, you can't win. This isn't like in Cleveland when you were a little younger and you had all-stars. Oh yeah, then why is Kobe such a destructive force for the Lakers? Why can't they win? And Kobe's sitting there going, time out. I got no one around me. I don't have the coach even at certain times when Phil's not there. The league is...
Well, Phil wasn't there because Kobe would always run Phil off the team. That's why Phil Jackson got annoyed with Kobe, because he just couldn't deal with him. I mean, that's why I always put Tim Duncan above Kobe, because not only was Tim Duncan a transcendent player offensively and defensively, he came into the league ready, was an immediate high-impact player, was the greatest player of all time at his position, and he was able to maintain the culture of that San Antonio Spurs squad for what, 20 years? I mean, almost 20 years?
Changing all this. This is not like, look at Tim Duncan holding the Spurs together, and he does deserve credit for teammate stuff that Kobe maybe doesn't deserve credit for.
Absolutely. That's why he's above Kobe on my list. And a lot of the Kobe fanboys, they get upset by this. Was Kobe the more spectacular player than Tim Duncan? No doubt about it. Kobe's one of the top 2 or 3 most spectacular players in the history of the league. But there's a lot that goes into your legacy, not just the level of spectacular plays that you made.
Holding that culture together in San Antonio, but still he had Popovich with him the whole time as his coach and GM. And LeBron...
Well, why was that, Max Kellerman? The reason why Tim Duncan had Popovich with him the whole time is because he was able to maintain the synergy between himself and the coach, and together they were able to transfer that to the rest of his teammates. That's why they were able to maintain that level of consistency for all those years.
Was in the East with other all-stars. Now, LeBron's older. Not quite as good as he once was. And he's surrounded by cats who aren't ready.
Right, but that's what LeBron likes. It's become more and more apparent as LeBron James' career has gone along that he likes dysfunctional environments. He can't deal with functionality. You know, it starts to really become an anathema to him. It's like he feels uncomfortable because the more functional the situation, the more pressure is on him to succeed. If everything is how it's supposed to be, now we could blame LeBron if the team doesn't win. But if the team is filled with a bunch of cast-off players, a bunch of young guys who have not fully developed yet, a relatively novice head coach in Luke Walton, then LeBron can always point the finger when things don't go well. There are people like that. It's very similar to how low-level women, they like to be in relationships with low-level dudes because they can always point the finger when the relationship does not work out. That's what LeBron James pursues.
And so Kobe's like, oh, not so easy to even make the playoffs under those circumstances. How does Kobe really feel like right now? Just like that.
What Kobe's really doing for LeBron James as a guy that is one of the Lakers' all-time greats, won 5 championships there, played 20-plus years there, and is synonymous with the current fan.
Wow, look at that terrible defense by LeBron James. You mean to tell me you couldn't make a better effort than that against Kelly Oubre? Let me rewind this back a little bit. I mean, that was just atrocious. Look at this lack of defense and hustle by LeBron James. He actually had the angle on him. Now look at this. Oubre is going to get the steal, and LeBron James is going to have the angle on him, and he lets Oubre just run right past him.
Championships there, played 20-plus years there, and is synonymous with the current fan to the point that we know Kobe stans are as loyal as anybody. They give the... Absolutely.
There's nothing like a Kobe stan. Like I always say, I believe that Kobe's fans, they spend most of their time, if they're not at work or doing whatever they have to do, they spend the rest of their time in their bedroom, butt naked, except with a Kobe Bryant jersey on, eating a vanilla ice cream cone while they watch Kobe Bryant's highlights on YouTube. That's all they do.
Beehive a run for their money. With that being said, when he talks about patience, he knows LeBron is in his 16th season. So what he's really doing is talking about optics. And when you're putting together a record, okay, there's something that's called lost tapes, where you put together this masterpiece and certain songs just didn't make the album for whatever reason, didn't get certain clearances. Somebody didn't feel like they were good enough. I don't want this to become that for LeBron James and L.
Too late, Jalen Rose. Good point, but it's too late.
Here's what I mean. The visuals of showing up at the game with a glass of wine. The visuals of sitting on the end of the bench where it seems like you're not involved with your teammates. These are the...
All of those things are components that Walt Clyde Frazier was observing when he made the statement that he made. And idiots said to themselves, oh, well, why are you saying this about LeBron James? How could you say that that man doesn't care? It's very obvious that he don't care. Who the hell comes to their place of employment? Because despite what LeBron might think, he is an employee. Who comes there with a glass of wine in their damn hand? And you're supposed to be a professional athlete? What type of standard are you setting for the rest of your teammates that you think that you're going to sit at the end of the bench with a flagon of wine, man? You're like a damn drunkard.
Things that Kobe stands understand that he did not do because he was immersed in basketball. We've seen him have success post-playing career in social media, in entertainment, but LeBron, while playing and going to the lottery, has to watch the optics of being in LA and doing so many production projects and are so many albums, acting and doing movies, because what's going to happen is people like Kobe, fans like Laker fans, and an executive like Magic Johnson, who I know didn't say what Clyde Frazier said, but trust me, there's a lot of him that feels like Clyde Frazier felt.
Now, for Jalen Rose to say that, we know that he must have gotten it from the horse's mouth, i.e. he spoke to Magic Johnson, or he's spoken to someone who speaks to Magic Johnson. This has been one of the worst years of LeBron James' career, basketball-wise, and I don't think that he recognizes that. I think that his self-awareness, which normally in the past has been relatively good, has severely fallen off.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this is welcome if they don't get a major free agent this offseason. I'm talking about all NBA caliber guys that I don't feel like are going to come. So I don't feel the Lakers are going to be a contender even next year when we're having a different conversation.
In other words, Jalen Rose, you seem to be repeating what I'm saying, which is that Magic Johnson might consider moving LeBron James if they cannot allocate to themselves a couple of high-profile free agents.
A lot about the young guys there, though. Those guys are pretty good.
They are.
Well, let me say this to you, Jalen. Here's where I respectfully disagree with you. I hear your point, but I don't think that's what Kobe was alluding to when he's talking about LeBron. See, I think that when Kobe thinks about free agency, he's thinking about Pelinka and Magic because he believes in them. I think when he's
allegedly he believes in them. Allegedly. You have no idea how much Kobe Bryant believes in Magic Johnson as an executive. Kobe Bryant is speaking as a former alleged fanboy of Magic Johnson. So he still holds Magic Johnson to a certain level of awe. And that means that he understands, as I've been telling most of you brothers for a very long time, that Magic Johnson was a better player and a more impactful player than he was. He won't say that outright, but he knows it.
About the young Lakers, he's looking at the fact that this young Lakers squad arguably had more talent than LeBron has had in the past.
Absolutely. That means that LeBron James has failed as a leader this season. He's been derelict as a leader this season, and that's been the case all the way from the preseason.
And he's looking at it from the standpoint that, of course not with Kyrie and Kevin Love, but I'm just talking about in terms of the young guys. I think that he believes they should not have snowballed the way that they snowballed from Christmas Day on. Obviously, LeBron James had an injury and missed 18 games. He comes back and they still look just as bad as they looked when he was gone.
Because mentally they were done with him. And people are truly underestimating this. The reason why the Lakers were playing so well early on in the season is because all of those young players grew up as fans of LeBron. And to them, it was the fulfillment of their basketball fantasy that they would get to play with their hero while he was still relatively potent. And when they came to understand who he really is as a person, how distant he seemed to be towards them, and then on top of that, how he was trying to utilize certain machinations to remove them and bring in another player, to them, they felt like this person here just has no regard for us, so we're now going to have no regard for him. That's really what it's about, because Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram and these guys, they're all 21, 22 years old. Their career's just getting started. So their attitude is, if the Lakers don't care about us, if LeBron does not care about us, then you could move us somewhere else, but we're not going to continue to give 110% to make this guy look good and he don't give a shit about us.
I think to some degree Kobe holds LeBron James somewhat responsible for that.
Of course he does, and you know that he does because you speak to Kobe.
And I think that, he's not going to come out and say it because he's got to be supportive, because he's a Laker fan now. Not just a former Laker great, but a Laker fan now.
And Kobe also can't say it because he does not want to become a part of the shitstorm. He does not want to become a part of the Laker narrative.
And obviously he was very, very ecstatic that LeBron James had came on board. I interviewed him the day that LeBron James agreed to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. In the end, what this comes down to is the fact that he's saying, there's responsibilities that come along with all of this, okay? Injuries are relevant. We get all of that. But there were some things that happened that it wasn't about injuries. They just looked really, really bad. And that can't be the case going forward.
All right. Jalen, thanks for hanging with us. What can we expect on Jalen and Jacoby? What's the hot
We
topic
giving people.
Why you try to act like you don't know what your man gonna be doing on his show, Molly Karen? Jalen Rose was telling you what the show was gonna be about right after y'all finish y'all morning session. So just knock it off. But anyway, we'll see what happens with the Lakers in the off season. Once again, I do believe that Kobe Bryant is rubbing his hands together like Birdman, waiting to see what's gonna happen. Because despite what Kobe says about not caring about the quote-unquote GOAT debate, he does care. He just knows that he has to allow certain things to transpire before he can declare himself better than LeBron James. And he will do that eventually. So anyway, peace.